The 119th Fighter Wing, brought in 1996, with Lieutenant Colonel Maurice Borut assuming responsibilities of base commander for the first half of the year, while Colonel Mike Haugen finished his tour in Washington, D.C. Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Hank Longino became the 119th Fighter Wing's senior Air Force advisor, and Major Rick Gibney took command of the Wing's Alert Detachment at March Air Reserve Base, California. February didn't bring warmer weather, but warmer weather found 119th Civil Engineering Squadron members and firefighters in Florida repairing runways and fighting aircraft fires during Silver Flag training exercises, while other hooligans participated in the international Red Flag operation at Nellis Air Force Base, Nevada, to prepare for the first day of war. The Amalgam Warrior exercise brought 76 hooligans a chance to demonstrate the North Dakota Air National Guard's air defense mission, defending North America in April. While 178th Fighter Squadron pilots flew over the polar ice cap, 119th firefighters were backfilling for active duty firefighters at Royal Air Force Base Lakenheath, England. In an ever-changing Air Force, the 119th Fighter Wing is now required to qualify everyone in the unit on the M16 rifle. Weapons qualification includes classroom training, pre-firing instruction, and range qualification. Ammunition, more weapons, and increased storage facilities are a few areas the Wing will spend money on to meet the new need. Safety was the buzzword in May as Fargo hosted the Air National Guard Safety Workshop. Two of the dignitaries in attendance were Air National Guard Director Major General Donald Shepard and North Dakota Adjutant General Major General Keith Bjerke. The banquet guest speaker, retired Captain Al Haynes, United Airlines Flight 232 pilot that crashed in Sioux City, Iowa in 1989, spoke of the heroism displayed by all parties involved in the incident.
I have to mention our passengers, and I will stand in awe of them forever. For 45 minutes aboard that flight, they knew we had a problem. And for 15 minutes, they knew it was a serious problem. But they only cooperated with the flight attendants. They never thought about themselves. They did everything they could to help each other. And after that crash and what they went through in the back end, their first thought was of each other. Greg Conklin and John Transu were getting off the airplane when they saw two flight attendants hanging upside down on their shoulder harness. They couldn't get their harnesses undone. So they stopped their own evacuation to assist them. Gary Priest was going through a hole in the side of the fuselage, and there was a woman on the ground right in the escape path, but she appeared to be so seriously hurt he was afraid to move her. But rather than just take himself away from this crash, he turned around and faced the opening and directed people around her so they wouldn't step on her. And then he and two other passengers helped the National Guard take her to triage when they brought up a backboard. Jerry Schimmel was getting off the airplane. He heard a baby crying inside. He couldn't see her. The smoke was so thick. He followed her cries in the smoke, found her in one of the overhead bins where she'd been tossed, took her out and gave her to her mother, father, and two brothers who'd survived the crash but had to leave Sabrina behind because they couldn't find her.
The Air National Guard Readiness Center tasked the 119th Medical Squadron to a joint overseas training mission. The selected JOT destination was one of the Windward Islands in the Eastern Caribbean, the Commonwealth of Dominica. The mission was to enhance the medical training of the squadron by providing construction, humanitarian, and civic assistance to the Dominicans. It was conducted jointly with the 194th Engineer Brigade from the Tennessee Army National Guard. This deployment involved not only the medical squadron, but the entire community. In the course of a year, over $500,000 worth of supplies, equipment, and donations were given to help support the mission.
Through all donated support, we were able to generate over $500,000 in medical aid, supplies, and literature, and we're able to bring that down the island in addition to our troops and complete a very successful mission.
Those courses offered were beginner cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR, instructor CPR, emergency medical technician, advanced cardiac life support, advanced trauma life support, first aid, death and dying, and orderly training. Dominican civilians were also encouraged to attend the basic CPR and first aid courses, as well as other courses designed to teach them emergency response. In the end, over 300 Dominicans received medical training. The efforts put forth by the 119th Medical Squadron were recognized at a ceremony at the end of the deployment. The 119th Medical Squadron officials handed over all of the supplies and equipment and presented a monument to the Dominican citizens.
Well, I think this is something that we're going to be committed to a great deal in the future, and the Guard and Reserve should have a real strong role in these humanitarian missions. They can do it well, they've got the people to do it.
We had an excellent group of folks that came down. We had junior enlisted all the way up to senior officers. Everybody was involved in teaching. Everybody had a lot of responsibility down here, and they've put in a lot of extra time outside of the regular job they have in the medical squadron. I was real proud. Everybody came together. We were in austere conditions that were just barely livable in some areas, and everybody pulled together, and it made me real proud to be a happy hooligan.
A church service, face painting, tattoos, and a dunk tank were some of the many activities found at Family Day in June. Multiple displays and demonstrations entertained and educated hooligans and their families. The many family members present showed true hooligan spirit despite the cold, wet conditions. Hooligans took the war against drugs to Central America as part of Operation Coronet Nighthawk. Working with the Joint Interagency Task Force East, pilots scrambled and intercepted suspected drug runners, passing information on to federal drug enforcement agencies. The 119th executed 2 45-day rotations for Coronet Nighthawk this year. June and July brought the unit's security police to Nevada for Air Base Ground Defense School and to Atlanta, providing security for the Summer Olympic Games.
This has been, in every sense of the word, a people's park. You didn't have to have a ticket to come here. You could meet with all of the people from all over the world, and all of the people from all over the world came to this park. We learned to celebrate the joy of humanity. And we learned that we were brothers and sisters regardless of our race, regardless of our religion, regardless of our national origin.
I'm Marcia Pankratz, and this is my family right here. Everybody in from all over to watch the Olympic Games.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's hear it for Marcia, huh?
Yeah.
And Marcia was the high scorer for the whole Olympic Games on the American team.
3 goals for the USA right here.
All right, good stuff.
Oh.
Baby, I feel it right here. You can't touch us. No. We have Spain.
Hi. Long live Holland.
Hi to the North Dakota National Guard.
With Colonel Haugen's return in August, many command changes took place. These changes shifted officers into positions that would have been vacated by retirements. In addition, it gives commanders a broad base of knowledge about functions of other elements on base and enhances teamwork. Once again, the Happy Hooligans grabbed top honors in a major U.S. Air Force Combat Forces competition. Aircraft weapons loaders from the 119th Fighter Wing at Fargo and the 142nd Fighter Wing, Portland, Oregon, won the Top Lotio Team Award at the 1996 William Tell Air-to-Air Weapons Competition at Tyndall Air Force Base, Florida. Both Fargo and Portland Load teams earned perfect scores of 2,500 points each. In total, the Fargo and Portland Loaders outshined teams from the Air Force Reserve, Canadian Forces, and active duty Air Force units by a scant 40 seconds over the closest competitor. The 1996 competition paired two units with dissimilar aircraft types representing each major command. Fargo's Happy Hooligans brought 3 F-16 Fighting Falcons and 17 pilots and maintenance specialists. The Portland Redhawks flew in 3 F-15 Eagles, plus their own complement of participants. The team also included 2 weapons directors from the Western Air Defense Sector performing ground-controlled intercepts for the fighters. There were half as many flight events, 1 weapons competition instead of 2, and fewer participants. This is all bundled into 2 days instead of being spread over 6, the hallmark of previous William Tells. 1996 marked Fargo's 9th appearance since 1970. As 1996 ends, we reflect on our first 50 years, a tradition of excellence, executing the mission, winning awards, and being the best unit in the nation.
And again, I will tell you, this is not my conference, it's your conference, and the 119th made this a great conference.
Yet, we're also focused on challenges that face us in 1997.
My prediction is that as we go into the future, we will look very carefully before we close a unit. We will try to downsize it in place rather than close it.